Welcome to the Language Learning Lesson 2 of the Memory Mastery course. Now in this one, it's a monster of a course, so I hope you're sitting comfortable because we have a whole lot to cover. This one, we're going to be looking at brute force learning. Brute force learning is what a lot of hackers do to try and get into your account. They'll try a password like StudyFast, StudyFast123, speed reading, fast study. They'll use a variety of potential combinations of words to get into your account. Now don't go off now and try and get to my Instagram account by using a variety of passwords. But what brute force learning is great for is when it comes to learning a new skill, such as learning a new language. Now the first thing is, the best way to learn is to speak the language in the country. But not all of us have the time or the money to be in that country. So hear yourself, but Jordan, I can't spend time in that country. I feel your pain, myself included. I want to speak Spanish, but I struggle being in the country. So what can you do? Well, there's 7 things you can do right now to learn the language using brute force learning if you're not in the country. The first one, change the settings on your laptop on your phone. Because what you'll start to do is, yes, at the beginning it will be hard because you'll download something and the settings you will not understand in the slightest, but you'll start to see patterns. You'll start to see that pegar means paste and copiar means copy, if of course you're learning Spanish. And you'll start to put this into your daily practice because what you start to notice is you start to see it often and it doesn't then scare you. And then what you can start to do is you start formulating what the sentence or the paragraphs mean because you're seeing it on a daily basis, meaning that you're immersing your brain within the language. And this is what brute force learning is all about. Next, we're all about efficiency here at StudyFast. So what I would recommend doing is that you only need to learn 800 of the most frequently used words in your new language. Now, 800 sounds, of course, daunting. But believe it or not, if you can remember 800 of the most frequently used words in the new language, a simple Google search will show you that, you'll be able to understand 70% of the language on a normal daily basis. So it shows you that a mammoth task of speaking fluently in your new language isn't actually that daunting when you realize it's a memory game. Moving on. So we've already looked at the most used words. What about music? Well, we talked about immersing your brain in a new language. Even at speeds where your comprehension suffers, it's really important that you hear the accent, the pronunciation, and you also get hit of dopamine every time you kind of understand what the artist has just said. Moving on from the auditory sense, podcasts. Now, Duolingo, we have no affiliation with them, but Duolingo, if you don't know, are the #1 at the time language learning application, and they also have a podcast now. It's a really good balance where they have a story and you'll have the English speaker or your native language, and then you'll have your desired language chip in throughout the story, so you're never really losing track of where it's going. Next, TV. Now this doesn't even feel like practice, because if you have one of your favorite TV series, Narcos being the obvious if you're learning Spanish, but what about Friends? Well, popular TV shows now, and of course how big Netflix is, you're able to change the auditory to your desired language. So yes, it will be dubbed over and it won't quite move with the actor's lips, nor will it have their voice. But you will have the auditory sense of the language, and at the beginning have the subtitles in your native language. So you're not losing track, and number 2, you're recognizing these patterns. Written. Now, I'm guilty of it. A lot of things now are digital, but if you have a chance to take notes, be sure to write your notes in your new language. They may mean nothing to the person next to you, and trust me, you will make a lot of spelling mistakes. But what you'll start to realize is gaps in your knowledge. You'll be like, oh, how do you say notepad in Spanish? And so you write notepad in English and the rest of your sentence is in Spanish, and then you search it up. And now you know that notepad is, I actually don't know what notepad is in Spanish. Like I say, I'm going through the process myself. I need to become a byproduct of this. I've been learning Spanish, of course, the release of this course, for 2 semanas. So within 2 weeks, I've already quite excelled. Making friends. Now this is the final point. Sounds obvious, and it sounds very tricky, but it's not. You probably know someone who speaks your desired language. There's many people that speak many languages, but you just can't look at someone and be like, oh yeah, you know 3 languages. So I encourage you to let people know that you're learning a new language. It makes you accountable, but not only that, you'll realize who in your network can actually speak your desired language. And what's great is they'll correct you. So you'll be conversating with, hopefully, a native or someone who is of a proficient level who will actually become your coach. So there you have it. How to use a hacker's technique to master a new language. Like I said, there was a lot to take in. Now you've got a lot of action steps to do now. Changing the settings on your phone, making sure that you're listening to the music and podcasts in your desired language. But most importantly, immerse your brain in it in every shape, way possible. I'll see you in the next lesson.